Hello and welcome to Random Fandom, the podcast where we pick a random team out of the supercomputer each week and then go and try and find a fan that supports them to tell us their story. I'm Rob, and as with me as always is John. How are you doing, John? How's your ankle today?
We played some football yesterday, didn't we, Rob? And I always twist my ankle, so I'm in a lot of pain, a lot of
You
pain.
you did look in a lot of pain. We were playing five-a-side last night, and he went down. I believe the phrase is like a sack of shit, and lay on the floor for a very long time. We all thought it was something super, super serious. Thankfully, it wasn't. You eventually got up like a proper Premier League player after enough rolling around.
Just
Um,
ran away. But
we thought you'd broken your ankle, then you kind of got up and went, "Oh, it's feeling a bit better now," and started running. Which is probably the worst thing you could ever do on a twisted ankle was to try and keep running on it. So, oh
yeah,
well, never mind. It was good. It was good fun. I'm glad you hadn't broken your ankle, by the way.
mm, thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks. Okay. Right, so we drew Notts County out. We've just had a great chat with fan Rob, which wasn't too confusing, even though there were two of us on there called Rob. And we'll have a listen in a second to how we got on chatting to him. But I think first things first, let's do our uh, Fantasy Premier League update, which we haven't done for a couple of weeks. I wish we were doing this the other week. So I had a brilliant week the week before last, but this weekend I hate those 6 a.m. lock-ins, John, where you have to remember to change your team. And I didn't swap my captain over to Haaland, and I ended up with Semenya, who
Oh,
somehow Bournemouth scored like 3 or 4 goals or whatever it was, and he managed to ensure that he was not involved in any of them. So thanks for that.
dreadful. Isn't it? Well, it could be worse. It could be me. So I'm down to 23rd in the league, and there's 28 though. We've got extra members who have joined us, which is great news. Great news. I believe your son has joined. Is that right?
He has, and it's a little bit. I mean, it's great that he's come in and he's brought his score over, and he's ahead of you, but he's not far behind me, which is a little. It's, I'll crow about it now while he's beating you, but I think he might go past me, which will be very disappointing. I'm falling. I had a good week. I'm like 419 points, but I'm down in 18th. Like, there's a lot of people had really good weeks this week. So do you want to? What do you want to do? Top five, top 10? Up to you.
Top five.
You're top five. You're our Premier League guru, fantasy guru, anyway. Even though you're rubbish at playing the game.
I'm good at reading out names rather than actually taking part in it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do top six actually because Baby Reindeer. Have you seen that show on Netflix? That's a great show. Um, so I want to shout that name out. And then we have Sam Collins in fifth, the original Mungo Jerry. He's been there for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Evan H, the Chocolate Milk Gang. I'd like to know what that's all about. Jack Army, Steve Edwards. He's consistently second or third, isn't he? And then
Yeah.
John McEwen, Obi-Wan Basaka's 11. And
He's a big
then
West Ham fan. If the supercomputer
oh,
ever
is
pulls
he?
West Ham out, we're gonna get John on. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
We got Avi Dubnov in our league. That means we've got two West Ham fans. That's incredible.
They're both in our league.
Both in the league. That's insane. What are the chances of that? And then we have number one, Kevin Rose, Beast Mode. Fantastic. That score is incredible. 527 points. Superb.
527, yeah, and I'm
Well
down
done,
on
Kevin. Well done, Kevin.
419, over 100 points off that. Although I haven't used any
Yeah.
chips yet because I don't really understand them. So I think you get a couple of them for each half of the season. So I think I've got to use my triple captain soon before it'll be use it and lose it, won't it? If you get one to use in the first
Yeah,
half of
you
the season and one to use in the second half.
correct. Yes, you will lose them if you don't use them. I tried to use mine last week, but it told me that I had four Liverpool players, so I'm not allowed to use my chips while I've got four Liverpool players because I bought Isak while he was still a Newcastle player, and so I
Okay.
by default I was allowed four, but the game's telling me I'm not allowed to do that. And considering
So it
Liverpool are
lets
losing
you.
every single game, then
I wasn't
maybe
gonna.
it's time for a change anyway.
I I I ditched Salah to free up some budget the other week because I mean I would say it pains me to see them not perform. It obviously doesn't because I'm very, very happy about it. But it pains me from a fantasy Premier League. I had to bin him, and I bought Haaland with the money I sold Salah for. So all good. Anyway, that's the Premier League, and we're not here to talk about the Premier League this week. We are talking about League Two, Notts County. So I'll play a little sound effect, and on the other side of the sound effect, I guess we'll speak to Rob. Okay, supercomputer pulled Notts County out of the hat, and John has gone and pulled a blinder again. He just knows fans of every team throughout the world. So let's throw it over, as we do, to the crowd to fire up the chant. Who are you, and how long have you supported Notts County?
Well, my name's Robert, surname's Robotham, and I've supported Notts County, rather sadly gives away my age here, for since about 1965, 66, which is pretty shocking. I'm 65. I know I don't look it, but yeah, it's one of these classic things with all the football clubs. You get taken to a match by your dad and his friends, and you just get hooked. And I've been hooked there ever since.
Do you remember what that first game was?
No, you see, I can't, but I can remember the old ground. And I can remember some epic games at the old ground, ranging from the fourth division as it was, all the way through to the first division. Never been in the Premier League. We were in the first division, voted for the Premier League, and then got relegated out of it. So the only team to have voted for the Premier League and not to have played in it. And which is a classic Notts story, actually, about lots of things. I do remember, sorry, Rob, seeing Notts beat Arsenal at Meadow Lane 2-1, which is a bit sad, shows my age again. And I do remember, this will probably cheer John up, seeing Notts beat Manchester United on the last game of the season 3-2 before, when we were in the old first division. That was tremendous. And there was a fight afterwards in the dressing room where some of the Manchester United fans went for our old manager, Jimmy Cyril, with a scalpel. And amazingly, he fought them off. He was a tough guy from Glasgow. So that's not the greatest game, but that's it's just gone on and on. And ever, I was at school in Nottingham. You can imagine, junior school. I was one of the few Notts supporters. Everybody else who weren't really football fans, proper football fans anyway, supported the F word. And it's made me even more determined in my lifetime to support them, the black and white stripes.
Oh, the black and white stripes. John, when we were looking into this, you have a story about the black and white stripes, right?
Well, maybe Robert could tell it.
Do you want me to do it, John, or yourself?
Yeah, no, you go for it, Robert.
Let me tell you about the black and white stripes. The black and white stripes actually weren't the first colours of Notts. They were a sort of weird sort of quarters of blue and maroon. And they were called the Lambs when they first started playing properly. And then they moved over to the black and white stripes. And the black and white stripes they've played in virtually all the time. I mean, they were playing in the black and white stripes when they won the FA Cup in 1894. And there was a guy called Jimmy Logan who scored a hat-trick in the 1894 FA Cup at Goodison Park, proper ground, And he's one of the few players in English football to have scored a hat-trick in the FA Cup final. Anyway, moving away from that, the great story about the black and white stripes that people know, a lot of people know, is that there was a guy playing in Italy for Juventus who played in pink, called John Savage. And the Italians didn't like playing in pink. They thought it was too feminine. This is really true. And he came from Nottingham, and they said to him, John, when you go back home, can you bring us a new shirt? Just find us a good shirt. And John came back to England, and he went to Nottingham, being from Nottingham, and luckily chose a black and white one, took it back to Juventus. And of course, they play in the black and white stripes to this day. And we were very lucky when Juventus moved stadiums to their new one. And I can recommend to go there for anyone, even if you're just going to watch a game, doesn't matter if you support anyone. And I went with my son, and they asked Notts to play the first game in the new stadium in Juventus in Turin. And it was just the most amazing game. And I thought, we're going to go here and get slaughtered, but I've got to go. And we drew 1-1. And they put a proper team out as well. And we were losing just to a penalty until the 84th minute. And a guy called Lee Hughes scored for Notts. Excuse me. And it was a 1-1 draw. And it was an amazing place. There you go. So that's where the Juve stripes come from.
You did better than Liverpool then. We couldn't find that equaliser.
One of the chants, actually, you're talking about the chants earlier on, that Notts do, is if we're playing particularly well and passing the ball around really well, everybody starts chanting. It's just like watching Juve. It's one of the classic songs, along with the wheelbarrow song.
I found the wheelbarrow song. Now, I'm going to play this, and maybe I'll have to wave at you, Robert, when the audio's over, because I think you're having trouble hearing the music that I'm playing. But I'm going to do a little clip here, because, John, you can listen to this. This apparently, and Rob can correct us, something to do with some misheard lyrics from a Shrewsbury Town song, I think. But I'm going to play this for you, John, and I'll let you know when it's over, Rob. But you know what it sounds like anyway, so here we go.
Yeah.
Right, John, any idea what those lyrics were?
It sounded like a lot of drunk men.
Well,
I couldn't
apparently,
pick a
and
single
I'm going to
lyric
let.
out.
Well, yeah, there's a good effort, John. Well done. I'll ask Rob to fill in the blanks, but the actual lyric there was, "I had a wheelbarrow, the wheel fell off." That's it. Repeat it
That's
over and over
exactly it.
again, and then shout "county" multiple times. But
That's really it. You're right. I think it came from Shrewsbury. And for some reason, it was a 1-1 draw. I seem to remember it being a particularly hard game. Shrewsbury fans were singing something, and it sounded like the Notts fans, to the Notts fans, like, "I had a wheelbarrow, the wheel fell off." And it's the most ridiculous thing, isn't it? But it's fantastic when everybody sings it. And it's just one of those other classic things, isn't it, that people pick up. Along with, we've also got, and you can still get this somehow, I think, the marvellous Three Lions on His Shirt song that the guys did for the World Cup. Notts also did one which was called Two Pies on the Shirt. Magpies. Come on, you pies, you see. Two pies on the shirt. Wheelbarrow still gleaming. 40 years of hurt. Never stopped me dreaming. And it's just very funny. But it contains in that song so many frustrations and hurts that Notts fans have gone through down the years. They're supposed to be the most stressed out team to follow in the Football League.
wow.
There was a survey done on that. Anyway, so
You've
there's
been
also that one as well.
promoted. You've been promoted like 14 times, I believe, and relegated 17, if I'm not mistaken. That's a lot of yo-yoing.
Yes, I mean, just through the time I've supported the club, we've been up and down and up and down and up and down. And I think it's like any club sort of down where we are, or maybe, I mean, because we've been right up to the top and back again. But you do get highs and incredible lows. Our problem has been that a lot of the lows, excuse me, a lot of the lows have been accompanied by nearly going out of business each time. And at the last minute, some local businessman has come along and saved us, and then we've staggered away, done well, and then for some reason the local businessman's business has gone down, or people have run out of money and it's gone down again. And anyone to lose a club, if you support a club at Notts level, is tragic. And we've been very lucky during my lifetime, about 3 or 4 times, to be bailed out and re-established, and it's happened pretty recently as well. Thank goodness. We now have 2 great owners, Alexander and Christopher Reitz, who run a company called Football Radar, which is a fascinating company. and they bought us. I think at the start, Rob, you mentioned what was your lowest point, having seen so many high points at Notts and playing big teams like Liverpool and Arsenal, was when that dark day a few years ago, we actually went down to the National League and on a sunny afternoon in Swindon. And that was probably our darkest day as a football club, to actually be relegated from the league that we founded, one of the founder members of the Football League. And you get all these terrible things in your mind thinking, we shouldn't be allowed to be relegated from the Football League. We founded our own club and now they're chucking us out. And you have to then think, hang on a minute, there's a football pyramid. People have the right to come up and down. And it's only us who can put it right. And luckily, with the new owners and some inspirational signings, we managed to claw our way back. So from a low point, we went to a sort of unwanted high point, really, was having to get through the playoff final at Wembley, because undoubtedly we'd have won that league, but Wrexham came along with billions and scored about 3 or 4 more points than we did as a result.
That was a
And we had to,
crazy. Yeah, sorry, Rob. That just to interrupt you. That I was looking at this. You had 107 points, and it was only good enough to finish second. They had 111. You two were
yep,
so far clear of the rest. It was like you were over 20 points clear of third, I think. And I
that was
remember it
right.
because Notts County got a big slice of that welcome to Wrexham pie, because you guys were like, you were the nemesis to Wrexham, so therefore you got a lot of airtime on that. That had to be. They all say that's one of the hardest divisions to get out of, and usually it's the one that's almost the unfairest, because a team like Notts County that finishes 20 points clear as a third usually ends up not winning the playoffs. So is that playoff final? Is that kind of one of your highest highs then? And what did you feel on that day going into it?
Well, there were 2 days really. There was, first of all, the semi-final. What happens is with the National League, why it's so difficult, and I think it needs reform, the actual relegation and promotion between League Two and the National League, because if you like bigger clubs like Notts, Oldham, Hartlepool, and bigger ones than that have gone down, then find it very, very difficult to get back. And, we've got the infrastructure and the support, sort of 9, 10,000, 11,000 now each game. So what needs to happen really is that the second place team has to play off. This is what happens now, amongst about 6 others. And as you say, you end up with, gosh, no, how many, 25 points above Chesterfield we were? The first thing you have to do is to get into the final. So you have to play off third and fourth and fifth, and then you end up with the 2 for the final. And our playoff opponents in the semi-final were Boreham Wood, and everybody thinks all these clubs, Boreham Wood, who's that? But a lot of these guys around London take on Premier League players who can't get in and young youth players who can't get in the first teams of the Premier League clubs. And we all went out. It was packed Meadow Lane, lovely sunny day, and we were 2-0 down at half time, and everybody was going, what on earth's happening? We were 27 points clear. And somehow we managed to score 3 goals in the second half. And the funny thing was, we were losing right up until 1 minute before the end of the 90 minutes, and we scored in the last minute. Then it went into extra time, and we scored in the last minute of extra time. So we were only in front in that game for 2 minutes. And then it went to Chesterfield at the final, and they scored first. We didn't score until the very last minute of the game. Then it went to extra time. They scored first, and we scored in the last minute of the game to make it 2-2. And then we had penalties, and our reserve keeper, a guy called Archie Mayer, saved 2 of the Chesterfield penalties, and we went through 4-3. Best day of my life when I got home. 2 children, sorry, and all that, my wife. We all cried, I have to say. The emotion was like nothing I've ever experienced at a football match.
Wow.
And just to get back into the league for Notts, I'm sure everybody says that, but, being the oldest club and all that sort of thing in the league, to have handed that mantra over to somebody else can't remember who it was, is, I don't know, it's like ripping a bit off the English game. Maybe it's not that important anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I know you lost by going down. You don't have the longest or the highest number of games in the top four divisions anymore. I think Preston North End have overtaken you
Yes, they
there.
did. Good old
So
Preston, yeah.
you need them to get relegated out of down to the National League for a bit, so you can reclaim your total. But what I did find is a real little kind of random factoid was that a couple of weeks ago you beat Fleetwood, and
Yep,
that now makes you apparently the second team ever behind Port Vale to have beaten
that's
every
it.
single one of the other 91 teams in the top four divisions. That's
That's it.
great.
Yep. Yep. It's
That
fantastic, isn't it?
well, it is, but what it
That's
also
incredible.
shows, it absolutely shows what John said earlier about you guys being a yo-yo club. Because the very fact that, say, I don't know, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United haven't done that is because they don't go all the way down through the divisions.
Exactly.
You've had such an exposure on your ride that you can go, yep, we've done something the big boys haven't.
Yep. 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 But I like that in a way, because it cements our place as, dare I say, there's probably people laughing all over their faces at this, but as an icon of the English game, because we have done that. We have been around since 1862, and I don't know what it is. It's just that something's about it. I don't know. Anyway, there we go.
So
We
you
can
are
say
the
we've been, we
oldest.
play. I can say, I've seen Notts beat Arsenal. I'm sorry, I don't mean that nastily, but I've seen them play Arsenal. I've seen them beat Man United. I've seen them play Liverpool. Funnily enough, not win at Liverpool, but and it's great to be able to say, yeah, we've lived with that, level of club.
So you are the oldest club in the world. Is that correct?
Not the oldest. The oldest football club in the world is Sheffield FC, who still exist. And
Really?
but the oldest professional club in the world is Notts County.
Wow.
Right.
Weird, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's like when I was trying to find like because we played for Coventry, the Coventry fan, we played the FA Cup final commentary when they won, and I was like, oh yeah, County have won the FA Cup. I wonder if I'll be able to find. And then I looked at the year that you guys won it, and I was like, probably not going to find the TV commentary for that one.
I got a picture of the team, but I don't think that's going to show.
Yeah, go on, hold it up. Let's have a look, see if it blurs it out. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, I can see the old black and white there. Yeah,
There they all are. Yeah.
wow. That is, I mean, like you say, the
Wow.
history of a club like Notts County is it's just amazing. What's also amazing is our run on this, by the way, because when we picked you out of the supercomputer and we looked at the fixture, I think you were away. Was it Barnet? Oh, have I messed that one up? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, away at Barnet. I was looking at the league table. I thought, oh, mine and John's run is coming to an end now. There's no way that we're going to oversee. That's a tricky away fixture. But yeah, 90th plus 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And Hall goes and is it Hall? Look at me looking over my
Tyrese
glasses. I'm
Hall.
such an old man. 1-0 to the county.
I didn't go, but I saw it all, and it was an amazing. I mean, we were not on top for the whole game at all. Barnet, played really well in that game, and they're a tough team, big guys, typical League Two stuff, but they play some nice football as well. But at the end, we've got some very, capable guys, and Tyrese Hall is, of course, sorry, John, he's a trainee he's a trainee. He's in their youth team at Tottenham. And we had another guy from Tottenham last season called George Abbott, who's playing for Wickham at the moment. And George is a fantastic player as well. So this is all about getting in with the Premier League academy boys and getting them to, get experience of league football. And yeah, it's good. It's just really good to have them in and blend them in with the rest of the team. We've got Swindon tomorrow, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's put you up to 9th level on points with Barnet. You're ahead on goal difference. I mean, you're right when you say that Notts County didn't exactly boss it. I was looking on FOTMob and I saw the nearly 60% possession to them, 18
Yep.
shots and 5 on target. You had 4 shots and 1 on target, which is obviously the one that mattered in the 94th minute. So
Definitely a plan there.
don't waste your shots. Just make that one count. That's all you
Absolutely.
need, right?
Save the effort for the Tuesday night game. Save the energy. We got
So-
a good new manager who seems to have, and no one had heard of him. It's awful to say that, and I apologise to him for saying that. Martin Patterson, who'd come in from Burton Albion. And again, the way people are picked to come and play for Notts on Football Radar is they're very, very deep. And the Reitz brothers seem to like young guys who, have got a potential to develop and give them the time to do that, actually, which is what managers need, I think. They need to stay a few months, don't they? Before they get the chance to, sorry, to,
Are we thinking about the team across that wears red there, maybe? And
I didn't know there was a team across there.
39,
Anyway,
39 days. I'm sure Notts County will have a chant about 39 days soon because that's the
there's already
shortest.
been things like that. It's funny, we do have a reasonably, I think if we're in the same division, we wouldn't like each other, but we have a fairly good relationship with them, actually. They have, they're good for academy players. And it's funny, when my granddad's day, who was a policeman at Notts County, can you believe that? On match days, people used to buy tickets in Nottingham, season tickets, two season tickets, one for the Red side and one for Notts, and would go on alternative weekends.
Wow.
And a lot of Nottingham people sort of might have supported one more than the other, but like to watch a football match. It's interesting, that, isn't it? Can't imagine that at Tottenham and
Wow,
Arsenal, can you?
very interesting. Is that one of the oldest rivalries in football? Then it must be one of the oldest derbies, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Forest might be 1845, but we started playing each other God knows how long ago. And but it was when the league was founded. Of course, they weren't in the league at first. I'm not sure when they came into the league, but we've always been, until comparatively recently, fairly close to each other. And a lot of my life, they were either in Division Two and we were in Division Three, and then sometimes for quite a long time we were both in the same division. And that was actually great for Nottingham, actually, to have those derbies.
Yeah, yeah, it would be good to have those derbies back again, get them back to your place. Still at Meadow Lane, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Still recent. I mean, we're very lucky because I say we're very lucky. When we were relegated from Division One, they sold a player called Craig Short and got millions of pounds for him, and then they rebuilt Meadow Lane completely with the money, which actually, in hindsight, was a good thing because we've got quite a modern, nice ground now. Still with the traditional awning on, with Notts County 1862 on it halfway down the pitch, a bit like Fulham have. And it's nicely it's been nicely and modern, for modern football, and meets all the, um, the recommend the what do you call it, the rules. I mean, my dad went there in about 1950 to watch a cup
Hmm.
tie with Notts, and there were 40,000 in, just crammed in, against York City, and they lost 1-0. There have been more, but if you look at some of these matches now on the telly, you look at, without the seating, you look at how many people were there. There's some marvelous ones over here at the moment. Star Soccer. Do you remember those in England, where these are matches of the 70s? Some marvelous ones you can see now. Matches of the 70s, or put in Derby County v Leeds, and you go and watch
Hmm.
those, and there's no seats. Everybody just stands on terraces, and if
Yeah,
someone scores,
yeah.
they all go down, flying down the hill towards you.
I remember the
Um,
early days of me supporting, like, I remember going to the standing and it's kind of like mid 80s and you get a goal and you're only little. I was only
I
kind
know.
of like 10, 11 years old. And like that
Yeah,
swell of just human tidal wave when a goal goes in is just something
just
to
going
behold.
boom along.
I used
So
to I
yeah,
used to
hopefully good
stand
times ahead
stand on
anyway.
the cop. I used to stand on the cop, and you get right next to the barrier, and you knew when a corner was going to be taken. You would brace yourself for
Yeah.
for the oncoming crowd. Yeah.
One little thing, and you please don't take this the wrong way because hopefully you're going to correct me. But what I also like to do is I look at teams and I try to find like notable players that either big names that maybe started off at a team that we will all recognize. And I couldn't find any. Like, you've had a lot of players that I wasn't going to classify as journeymen that I kind of recognize the name, but I didn't see any kind of, oh wow, Messi played for Notts County. Like, I didn't see anybody that had really made it. Now, A, am I wrong? And B, is that because of the kind of method that, not if I am right on this? Is it because that's the way Notts County kind of run? It's more of a get the academy kids in, churn them back out again. I mean, come on, set me straight, Rob. Give me a big name that I'm going to go, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see them.
Okay, well, that's a really good point. I mean, we have had through the years loads of people. How far do you want to go back? And this is the problem, really.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I mean, there
for
was
me,
a
late
guy called
80s, early 90s onwards.
Okay, well, the one I can remember who stands out more than anything, and again, you probably wouldn't heard of him, although he was captain of Scotland. He's called Don Masson. And no, not heard of Don. The
No,
Don.
I got nothing there. Sorry.
No, don't worry, Don Masson, a tremendous player. Yes, who else since then? We've had Tony Haitley. No.
He played for
John's
Villa,
not in.
didn't he?
John's not in.
Yeah,
He played
yeah.
for Aston Villa. Is that right?
I think he did play for Villa. Yeah, yeah. We've had. I mean, I've got a book of them all here.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, we've had a famous manager or two. We've had a Sam Allardyce was manager,
Yes.
got us promoted to the old First Division.
Didn't you have Neil Warnock as well?
Neil Warnock came in. He got us promoted. I was there in 1981, May 1981, when we, can you believe this, at Notts, beat Chelsea 2-0 at Stamford Bridge and got promoted to the old First Division.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. I mean, currently at the moment, the nearest one who people, you either love him or you really don't like him, is a guy, the best one I've seen in recent years is a guy called Lee Hughes, who had a run-in with the law following a little incident. He was rescued by, when he came back from Her Majesty's Pleasure, as it was, Oldham took him on for a bit, and then he came to Notts. And of course, I just don't think I've ever seen a player who could finish so well than Lee Hughes. And a lot of the fans watching this will go, boo, Robotham, get off, how dare you. But he's the best player I've seen at Meadow Lane. But then there have been so many. And again, in more recent years, there's a guy recently called Macaulay Langstaff, who was with us in the in the National League and then League Two, who scored 30, 40 goals a season for 2 seasons, was sold and has gone to Millwall and just hasn't done it there. I mean, we'd love to have him back. And no, we've got a classic guy at the moment who's called Alessandro Jatta, who, again, you won't have heard of, you see, at your level, who's plays for Ivory Coast, I think. But, these guys are fantastic players. And there's lots of people in the lower leagues like this, but I would say my favourite player is Lee Hughes. And, okay.
So as we kind of think about current, like you just said then, good win against Barnet, puts you up within touching distance of the playoffs. It's super early days at the moment, as we all know. But what are your kind of hope/thoughts for the rest of this season? Another consolidation one, or this is a proper playoff pushing? This squad is capable of a playoff push.
I think this squad is currently there at the moment. It's probably get hammered tomorrow, but I don't think so against Swindon. I think this squad is certainly capable of being in the playoff places as we are at the moment. It's got better and better and better and better. Young manager, new manager, but the whole thing's starting to gel. We brought in a lot of new players. We got a lot of players out as well in the closed season. And everybody seems to be just about now starting to knit together. And the results recently have been fantastic. I mean, I think we've had 4 wins at home on the bounce. I don't think we've lost for, I don't know, can't remember, 6 or 7 games now. And what it would be good to do, I mean, if we win tomorrow, we'd be 3rd or 2nd.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
We've got a game in hand. But again, they're very difficult. League Two, just about anyone can beat anyone. It's going to chuck it down tomorrow in Swindon, so anything can happen. And it's a tough place to go. An ex-First Division club as well, with a lot of rowdy fans. But I think we've got a really good chance of being in the playoffs. I think if we do some business, which I think we will do in the new year, and we've got a really good director of football called Richard Montague, who was, fun enough, at Swansea. He was at Notts. He went to Swansea, much to Steve's delight, and then came back again to us. I think we might just sneak it into the top three. I think
Ooh, ooh,
I
there we go.
think
Look at
I'm
that.
reasonably, having been very skeptical at the start of the season. The more I see, and the more I see the spirit and the way the manager conducts himself on the touchline, which is really leading from the front, I think we've got a really good chance. And I think long term, we ought to be longer term an established League One club, and I'd take that for the time being. Having been booted out and into the National League, and that's something no club ever wants to happen. You know, you must never let that happen to you. To then establish ourselves as a League One club would be fine for me at the moment, and I'd take that for a few years, and then Championship. You know, you're starting to get into huge amounts of money then.
Yeah.
Parachute payments from the Premier League. You know, people coming in on silly money. And one thing the Reach brothers won't do is to allow Notts to go into, let's just say, financial trouble again. I mean, we didn't make much money last year, but to me, the stability of the club and keeping Notts County going forever is the most important thing, but provided it's not in anything less than League Two.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing, although this will probably curse it now. You're guaranteed a result one way or the other tomorrow because Swindon are the only team in the division that haven't got a draw yet. 12 games, 8 wins, 4 losses. So it's all or nothing tomorrow, Rob. That's what
Well, one of their
unless you
best players was sent off on Saturday as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because if you look at it, right, all the things you would say, they all say like the hardest thing is scoring goals, and you have got best goal difference outside of MK Dons and Grimsby. Like you're scoring goals, you're not conceding a huge amount. Yeah. Well, wish you all the best for the rest of the season. It's
Thank you, guys.
absolutely pleasure speaking to you. Any final thoughts, John, of wrapping this one up, or are we all done on the Magpies Express?
Yeah, we really, really appreciate your time, Robert. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. It's really enjoyable, and thank you very much, and best of luck. Can I just make a plug? I don't know if you got it, John. I sent it to you, I think yesterday. Is the thing called it's a podcast called Notts County Talk.
Okay,
I don't know if
you
you've
plug it
seen that.
away. I haven't, but I will check it out. And
The
you're
guys
going to
who
be
do Notts County Talk are fantastic. They're in for an award. It's us and Tranmere in for an award for the best podcast. And they do Notts
Oh, wow.
County Talk, and they do another one called the Pavis Perspective. And that's the Pavis stand, Derek Pavis, who was the chairman in Meadow Lane. It's just wonderful. They're two
I'm a little
local
bit
Nottingham.
I'm a little bit taken aback. Sorry, Robert, but you just named another podcast and said they're fantastic. I mean, is that some kind of slight on me
No,
and John?
no,
I mean,
no.
what?
That, no, it's it's the Pavis. Well, it's stupid. It's Notts County Talk, basically. Go on there. The lovely thing is, if you don't live in Nottingham like I don't anymore, and I love Nottingham, when you go back, you see these guys, you see all the places that I knew where I used to grow up in, and they drive they either go to Meadow Lane, they give you the whole thing, and they're just like it's classic Notts County fans are, and the way they talk to each other. And during that Barnet game, the Barnet one that they've just done, is classic. It's how I would be at a Notts match. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh no. How do you think they're going to do? I don't think we'll win today, mate. And all this sort of thing. And it runs through it. And then in the last minute, my God, we've won, you know. And they then score all the players at the end. You know, what do you think of Roos? Oh, I don't rate him as a goalkeeper. Well, he had a good day today, though, didn't he? And it's
It's like being down the pub with them.
It is, but it's even better than that because they actually do it in the ground.
Oh, awesome.
And it's hilarious. Anyway, Notts County Talk, if you get 5 minutes, honestly, it's hilarious.
I will check it
Brilliantly
out.
done.
I will check it
Brilliantly
out.
done.
Yeah, so again, a second round of thank yous. Good luck for the rest of the season, and make sure you tell everybody in Nottingham about Random Fandom and your starring appearance. So thanks again, Rob.
And I shall do. Can they watch you every week?
Yeah, of course they can.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what I'll tell them.
You get them on board the Random Fandom train, and we will grow this thing together.
It sounds brilliant to me. Anyway, okay.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks again for doing that, Rob. That was great. And John, thank you for doing it yet again and finding us another fan.
Well, again, we have to thank Steve Edwards, our Swansea fan. He's come up trumps. He's helped us find some people. So it's not all me. I can't take the praise this time,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but you know Steve, therefore I'm going to let you dine out on the credit that
Okay, all right.
it's through the John side of the pod, not the Rob side. I've so far found no one, I believe.
Dreadful, Rob, isn't it? Dreadful.
I know, it's doing awful. Anyway, let's see what the supercomputer throws up for our next team to follow. I know we've technically finished following Notts County, and we saw the 1-0 win over Barnet, but I will keep an eye out tomorrow for the Swindon game, see if they can get themselves up into the playoffs. But who will be looking forward to and scrambling to find a fan of? Let's find out. Oh, I mean, you can't go much further in the opposite direction. We were dining out down in League Two. We're going to get our first
Uh-huh.
Premier League club this time.
Ooh,
And it
who we got?
is. We have got. Okay, I don't want to say anything bad because we don't want a pot of a fan coming on, but they're going to have to really pull their finger out to carry on being a Premier League club at this rate. It's the mighty
Ooh.
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Wolves? Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
I mean, they've had some players down the years. I mean, Wolves have been one of those, up and down teams, but they've had some stonking players. Um, yeah, we'll find someone, won't we? We must be able to find a Wolves fan or anybody listening out there. You know, a Wolves fan, tell them they've got to come on and tell us their story before John finds one. Just someone come on and talk about Wolves and say that you know me.
Wolves, that's going to be a good one, isn't it?
It should
Looking
be,
forward
as
to
long as
that.
it's not just us two talking about them. I mean, there's enough about them that we'll have a good episode, even if we can't find a fan. But I have faith. I have faith that we can find a Wolves fan to come on and talk about the Wolves. So I think that's that. Well done, Notts County. Keep going, everybody in the fantasy league. I'm going to keep trying to stay ahead of John. That's my only goal for the entire season. I don't care where I finish, as long as it's one place above you.
You're not that far ahead, are you?
No, I'm not. That's why I'm dining out on it
You're
now
18th and I'm
because
23rd.
yeah, it's not a big gap. So I'm just gonna lord over you for a while, and then as soon as you go past me, I won't care about it, and we won't talk about fantasy, and we'll drop it as a segment from this whole podcast. Uh,
Prob-
right.
Probably good for both of us, really. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Stupid idea to run that. I mean, look at us. We're supposed to be first and second on that. We go and run it. We're getting embarrassed. We're at the bottom end of the table, but there we are.
Typical, isn't it?
Right. Any final thoughts before we head off to try and find ourselves a Wolves fan?
No, I appreciate you not bringing up Liverpool Man U. So yeah,
I mean,
thank you very much.
I was trying very hard not to bring it up. Now you've gone and brought it up yourself. So yeah, don't worry. I
Yeah,
haven't been really mean, and I've got like a little audio clip of Slabhead's goal to play for you. I didn't go and do that. So
good,
um,
good lad.
no, we'll leave it there. We shall leave it there, and we will speak to you next time, everyone, when we will be talking about Wolverhampton Wanderers. So yeah, thanks a lot.